What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Drop-In. As I always say, we get the raddest people in the Better Rate Mortgage Studios, and I am honored today to have Mr. Jeff Scroggs here and Gabriella Duhn. Right? Did I say it right?
Yep,
That's correct. I say that because when Jeff first emailed me, it was like Duhn and then pronounced Duhn. And I'm like, okay, I get that. All right, cool. But, we're going to talk about a lot of things. How the Northville Skatepark project got started, why it got started, and what is going on May 21st, which everybody watching this show should be there. Heck, it's sorta, not really, but I'll take a little bit of credit, sorta named after the show. It's called the Drop-In Beer Fest. And Jeff actually got a hold of me. Is it cool if we do this? And I'm like, heck yeah, I don't own the name, but just a great coincidence. And so I am just honored to have you guys in the studio. Jeff, Gabriella, thank you so much for taking the time to come down here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're honored to be here.
Yeah, how'd the afternoon go? The sun's starting to shine. We're starting to get a little bit of warmth going on.
A little windy, but very nice today. Yeah,
yeah, the wind was nuts. Where I was at, it sounded like freight train going through the trees and whatnot.
Yeah,
it was really crazy. And I'm thinking, well, my garbage cans are on the other side of the
They're
city
all over
now.
the place.
The cat's gonna want to go out later. He might be up in the tree. But it's cool to see the sunshine and get some natural vitamin D.
Oh, yeah. Ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's jump right into it. And this is, as we move along, I think you guys will know who the questions are sort of for and where you both can chime in a little bit. But, let's talk about Duhn. Let's talk about Duhn and just tell me what kind of person he was and really how he got into skateboarding and what it meant to him.
Well, he was an amazing young man, I should say. Obviously, I'm his mother, but he really was pretty spectacular. He was just very down to earth. He had a lot of friends, actually a very eclectic group of friends. He was very inclusive, non-judgmental. He understood that, he had a pretty good upbringing, but never judged anyone else from their upbringing. And he was an awesome big brother. Him and his younger brother Enzo were like, best friends too. So he was a great guy, and how he took up skateboarding. The boys always skateboarded when they were younger, but he went off to MSU. And anyone that's up at MSU knows that there's no parking up there. And he did bring his bike up there, but he realized that skateboarding to class was so much easier. So that's when he really took it up. And he became pretty good at it, actually.
Nice.
Well, and up in East Lansing, they have had a skateboard park there forever. One of the oldest in the state, I believe. That park and Mason, I think early 2000s, they were really ahead of the game. And George, with Modern Skate and Surf, played an integral role in that, and I know that's the city he started in 1979. And eventually, George, we're going to get you in the studio. We're going to talk about the modern story one day. But, it is a great city to skate in. If you're a skateboarder, Lansing is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now, you talked about Enzo a little bit. Enzo and Jack, if I came up with an idea. And can you talk about that a little bit? How did that come up? What did they just come to you and go, hey, I think we want to, do this skate park thing in Dom's honor with, the untimely passing of Dom. When I heard about it, I'm like, a reckless driver in downtown Northville? Is that what happened?
It was a hit and run.
It was a hit and run.
Yes. It was a hit and run, and then luckily a tipster turned him in 5 weeks later.
No way.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know the whole story.
Right, yeah. So, yes, Jack was one of Dominic's best friends. Him and Enzo, it was very shortly after Dominic passed, they came up with this idea. And without me even knowing, they start petitioning the township, okay? So they're doing this, and then they come to me and they tell me, but I was in such a fog. I was like, I really didn't even know what they were talking about. So they kept talking to township people. And then they came to me and they said, hey, one of the locations they're offering is, Millennium Park. And I was like, what? Wait, you guys are serious about this? And so then once I realized they were serious, I said, maybe I should get involved so the township understands that this is a serious thing. And then it just kind of steamrolled. It took a life of its own, really, because once I got involved, it was like other people started coming to me, and this is where Jeff comes in.
Mm-hmm. A year ago, it was
Yeah.
my birthday, May 24th, not even a year ago that we got started.
Really?
Yeah, it's been amazing. We've made great progress, short period of time.
And that's where I was going next, because you got a hold of me and told me about it a while ago. But how did you get involved?
I heard I'd heard about Duhn passing. I never had the opportunity to meet him, but I heard about it because I live in Northville, and Trevor, actually from Tony Hawk's the skateboard project, he had posted something online about a Northville Skatepark, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? Northville Skatepark? And he's like, oh yeah, I got to put you together with Gabriella. She's kind of gave me the whole story, and I internalized it because I'm living in that town and I've got kids.
You're like, no,
wait,
the skate park in Northville. That got tore out a few years ago when my backyard pool got destroyed.
That
what
was
are you talking
the
about?
original.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I heard about it, I just I had to get involved. I mean, it'll eventually be like my home away from home. So
Definitely.
I jumped right in, and we started meeting and got on the committee and social media guy. So I decided that'd be a good role for me, and it's been a pleasure to help out so far.
Yeah, and you've been crushing it with the logos and the different things that I've seen. Definitely can tell that there's a seriosity to it, that you're taking it very seriously. You're putting in your talents plus the message. I don't see how it can fail. And the city of Northville has been very supportive, huh?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the township, but
Oh.
we're in the township, but the city itself is also very, very supportive.
In the Parks and Rec there, we've been working
Yes.
hand in hand with Parks and Rec, and we've had their approval and support through the whole thing, and they're very much happy to help, and they're kind of helping us cut through some of the red tape that we wouldn't know anything about.
And
doing
Trevor
some
is
of the-
very helpful with that kind of stuff.
Trevor
as well.
stepped in with us too, and kind of let us know, some of the ins and outs and what to do and what not to do, and
Yeah, I've known Trevor for 30 years or so, and it was rad when he got involved with Tony Hawk Foundation. Being a skateboarder all through the '80s,
Mhm.
Trevor Staples.
Oh yeah, your boy.
Yeah, I have those stickers like all over.
Oh yeah,
and he's so informative of trying to get it done. He all he wants to see is success.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so he's giving you every different angle to try to approach that success. And so it's rad that he's a part of it for sure.
oh yeah.
And I mean, I brought up your backyard pool. I gotta brag a little bit. I didn't get to skate at the Bye Bye Bowl. I wasn't there. I only saw the pictures. But this fine young gentleman, backyard pool, getting ready to get rid of it. The wife says, "Yeah, you guys can skate it." The man, Tony Hawk, shows up in his backyard and just freaking rips his backyard. I can't even imagine how. I mean, still to this day, to think about that, you look out your window, and go, "Oh," and
Oh, yeah.
relive the
It's
moment.
bittersweet. It's bittersweet. It was
Yeah.
a dream come true. I mean, I've managed to meet several of my heroes, but Tony Hawk was definitely up there. And then in addition to that, Ray Barbie
Yeah.
came by. Andy McDonald really tore it up. The whole Cleveland crew came and skated. We had several pros, Olympian, Jordan Barrett. I wanted to do it another year because I had set my sights on Christian Estoy because I had some mutual
Yeah.
friends with him, and I told my wife, please, can we keep it for one more year? We haven't had any kind of issue, no problems with the neighbors or the police. One more year, and it was asking a lot. She was very sweet about the whole thing and allowed me to do it. And her mother and father actually built that pool back in the mid '70s, and her mother passed away, and we decided to move to Northville and buy that house. And I kind of looked at that pool back when we first started dating, and I was never a huge pool skater, I'm more of a street mini ramp guy in my day, but I saw that thing and I said, one of these days, maybe they'll clean the pool and I'll see if I can skate it. But I never dreamed of how it would have worked out in the future. It was insane.
Truly amazing, even to see the photos and go, that's Michigan. I don't think if you didn't tell somebody that, they'd think it was Southern California or something like that.
Right.
I mean, that's not Michigan. We don't have pools like that.
No, it was
those
very,
pools were built in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And so not a lot of, there was one other one like that down in Riverview, and we skated it for a couple weeks one time.
Yeah.
And but no, what a great experience for you and for
it's the
everybody
best.
involved. And now you get to put some of your talents to work to help get a legit skate park in the town that you live in, and that's got to feel rad as well.
Yeah, everyone wants that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And now, what is the Main Street League?
It's a friend. Well, I got to be friends with her. We needed a 501(c)(3) to run the funds through.
Yep.
And we didn't want to create our own because it was time consuming.
And expensive.
Yeah, that as well. And we only needed it for a short time because we really did our homework early on. And everyone told me, if you're going to do fundraising, do not run through the municipality because donors don't trust where that money goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to reach out to Main Street League, and they were incredible about it. And they said, yeah, you can use us.
How cool.
Yeah, they've been amazing.
It just, that alone streamlines so much time. And again, like funds that could be used elsewhere.
Sure.
You got to time and money, and then you got to wait to get your okay before. And then there, especially when you're dealing with something, like this with different kind of grants and different things, time is of the essence, on a lot of steps as you're moving forward. And so what a blessing to have the Main Street League offer that.
Well, and we were very understanding. When this happened, we were obviously, our first intention was to honor Dominic.
Definitely.
And we knew if we're going to raise funds, we have to do it now. Because 2, 3, 4 years down the line, people are going to be like, skateboarder getting killed in a hit and run, when did that happen?
Right.
People forget, their memories are short. So we had to jump on it as quick as possible.
Very cool. I'm happy you're doing it. I keep looking around at all these skate parks popping up, and I'm no spring chicken, but I still love getting out and riding all these parks. Yeah. It is such a different kind of environment for skateboarders than it was 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Where we're chasing down backyard ramps. You hear of an address, you knock on the door, or you just jump the fence and hope it's not that dangerous, or, drive for hours. And now the Metro Detroit area is getting so much to support skateboarding and extreme sports. It's so cool to see it all going on. Especially, the city of Northville. I love the downtown area. Where Northville Downs is, the horse track. I ran a few 5Ks there. I've been down there for different things, and it's just a beautiful town. To have a skateboard park is just the cherry on top, for people coming in or thinking about moving there, to have more for the youth and something a little different to raise a family, or for people like me to go, yeah, they got a skate park. That looks like a prime location to move, It's all a blessing, and all to honor a great young man. And so when it gets built, that's another step that it'll never go away because it's going to last a long time. You guys are doing some great work. And, the fundraising side is often difficult. And it sounds like you guys are having some pretty good luck early on raising funds. How has that went? Have people been very approachable, slamming doors in your faces, a little bit of both? How has it been going so far?
I think we've been really lucky in a lot of ways. People have been generous, anywhere from really, really big donations to even small donations. Like we're appreciative of it all. The unfortunate part is a little bit of the timing, because when we originally, a little over a year ago that we decided to do this, we were estimating 500,000. Well, now with the inflation, it's raised the bar for us. So that's why we're still out there. We're like, because we really don't know how much it's going to end up costing until we actually put it out for bid. But overall, everyone is telling us you guys are doing an amazing job in such a short period of time.
Right.
But that's because of the team we have.
Well, the funny thing is, we've had very few negative,
Yes.
thoughts or ideas about the skate park, and the kind of negativity that can come. And on a couple of occasions, we'd get someone from the nearby neighborhood from the site that would say, "Oh no, we don't want this," and Gabriella would say, "What's their name? Who is this person?" And on a couple of occasions, she went and had a talk with these people, and not only brought them around to thinking this is a great idea, but also got a donation out of them.
Oh,
So,
how rad.
magical. I mean, yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. And a lot of people do react with
Yes.
what they've learned in the past, maybe
Yes.
10, 20, 30 years ago, or that they, see on TV. And when you explain to them the benefits and the reasons behind it, it can change some opinions.
Well, I mean, I'm the first to admit, like, I've learned so much. Like, I knew my boys were always skateboarders, right? But I had no idea the uniqueness of the culture of the skateboarders. Like, it's pretty phenomenal, really. They've just gotten such a bad rap over the years, because of the way they look or whatever. But it's, like I said, it really embodies what Dominic was. Going back to, he's inclusive, he's non-judgmental, very helpful, caring. And when I've been to these skate parks, that's what I actually see out there. I see the older one trying to help the younger one. And it's just like common courtesy out there. There's no fighting going on, so that's why, like, it just has evolved into something so magical, I guess is the word, because it's really what, I mean, I feel every community needs it, but especially Northville, especially with our young people, they have suffered so much through the pandemic. I mean, they were suffering pre-pandemic, don't get me wrong, but this just kind of set them over. And when I made my spiel to some of the township people, I said, look, right now, we have parks for the little kids. We have parks for our dogs. We have community centers for the seniors, but we have no place for the teenagers. Where do they go? Mm-hmm. And they're the ones that have really suffered the most through this. So not only are we looking to build a skate park, we want it to be a skate park / gathering area. So even if you don't skateboard, you can go up there and you can watch the skateboarders. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you might want to get on that skateboard and try it, but it's someplace to go.
Well, and you bring up a great points all the way around, because the camaraderie of skateboarding, I believe, is the most important part. I mean, I love riding my skateboard. It's been a blessing, taking me places I could have never imagined. But there's some weeks I don't want to go to the skate park, but I know I should go and hang out with my friends, come and smile and have a good time. And I may not do any tricks or nothing. I may just take pictures of them. I don't know. But just that friendship, I don't think it's that easy to find that in other, I don't even know if you want to call it a sport, activities, different things like that, where there's a bond there. There's a special bond that you don't find too many other places. And you brought up, like, seeing the younger ones learning from the older ones. Heck, you can go there and see a 50-year-old learning from a 10-year-old.
Yeah, you can.
And I don't think there's another sport on the planet that you can find that. But you can see it at any skate park you go to.
Oh, yeah.
You may see that. And one of my favorite things, and I'm sure Jeff can attest to this, is the first time somebody drops in on a quarter pipe, like they put their tail at the top and they roll in. It's almost like learning to walk on a ramp. No matter what their age is, what color they are, what gender it doesn't matter. Every single person who sees that will get goosebumps like those. You can see them right there. They are there. And they will get that, and they will feel that, because the majority of them have been there, and they know the guts it takes to do that. And that just brings the community even closer. Yes. And it's something, I don't even know if you could write about it or explain it to somebody who hasn't experienced it,
True.
And you brought up, Jeff, it hasn't always been this way. What year did you start skateboarding?
I got my first skateboard. My mom bought it for me out of the like the Sears Christmas catalog. You remember the big catalog, and you would look at all the toy section, and I found this I don't know, yellow plastic 70s skateboard with a shark on it, and my mom bought it for me. And I would, that was probably 1977, and I would just ride it up and down the driveway as a little kid, and then, kind of like set it aside for a while. Really the only sport I ever much played was baseball. I was a pretty decent baseball player. But then right around, the Bones Brigade era, about 1985, 86, I got a cheap, skateboard from Dunham's, more of a modern board with all the, tail guard. Yeah, it was a Nash Executioner.
Oh yeah.
And, just a wide enough board to learn a little bit better on. And then my friend Roger Lewis, that lived in my neighborhood, came home from a vacation, and he had a Powell and Peralta board with the skull on it, and I rode that thing. And at that point, I was still doing the baseball all through high school, and I was kind of like trying to be a BMX kid. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood with, I guess you'd call them like some talented wheelie popping burnouts, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And I was a little younger than them, but I lived on a circular block, and I would watch these guys. They could ride wheelies all around the block. So I was like, I want to do that. Those guys are so cool. And they would build, what we would think of as a launch ramp before I'd ever really even seen one. And, they'd say, you got to hit that jump if you want to hang out with us. So I would be terrified, but I'd ride down the hill we lived on, and I'd hit this jump, and sometimes I'd make it, sometimes I wouldn't. But then, when I got into, I guess with my second year in high school, the baseball was kind of fizzling out a little bit with me, a little bit, too much time. And some of my friends that I had met that year were skateboarders. So my good buddy Jeff Frazier and I were doing the freestyle bike thing. We came down here to Birmingham with a group of skateboarders and followed them around on our bikes. And by the end of that day, I said, I'm done with this bike. I'm getting a skateboard. And that was it. Never turned back. Changed my life entirely.
Yeah.
Saved my life.
Jeff, do you still have the yellow skateboard?
No, but I just found one on eBay, and it didn't have the sticker on it, and it was only $15. I'm going to buy this thing, and maybe I can have the sticker like made and stick it on there, because I got to get it for the man cave, just to put it in there. But I never saved too many of my skateboards. I was always kind of, didn't keep them around. I wish I would have. I've got my first real skateboard, which was a Town and Country Johnny Cop.
Yeah,
that was my first board. That's hanging in my basement, and that's back when you take the paint marker and write all your favorite punk rock bands on the grip tape, and it's atrocious to look at now, but it's funny to see like what I was into, and I'm still into a lot of the same bands now, So, but yeah, skateboarding it's everything to me.
It really, it's such a rad. You can call it activity, you can call it a hobby, you can call it a sport, you can call it a lifestyle. I mean, it encompasses all of that.
Yeah.
And especially to get started in the 80s, if you started in the early 80s, late 70s, and you made it through some of the ebbs and flows of skateboarding, it's all, the only way I can relate it to like people don't understand is like Harley guys, like the dudes who ride motorcycles. And they're always going to be a Harley guy. Maybe at 45, they don't have a Harley anymore, but they're still a Harley guy. Right. They look at the world differently. And that's the way skateboarders are. Yeah. They look at the world differently. And it's just something inside, because there's music that comes with it. There's creativity that comes with it. There's artwork. There's so much. And everybody is welcome. And that's what, hopefully, everybody watching this, if you've never been to a skate park, if this is the first time you've ever been introduced to skateboarding, it is more than just a useless wooden toy somebody scratching up the curb. There's a lot more to it. And I think another great, important part of it is the creativity.
Oh, yeah.
And that there's no right or wrong way to do it. And you don't need a coach. You don't need a uniform. You don't need any of that. Just as long as you're having a good time being cool to everybody, you're going to be doing it for a very long time.
Well, that's what I said. What's great about having a skate park in Northville, because I said, it's for that kid that may be really athletic, but just doesn't want to be part of a team sport because they don't like the coach yelling at them every day.
That was me.
Or having a schedule. You can do it when you want to do it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're dependent on you don't need a team. You don't need a pitcher because you want to hit some baseballs. Nothing against baseball. I think it's a rad sport. I love all the traditional sports. But with skateboarding, you can walk out your front door, step on your board, and you're skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And you're only competitive with yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's how far you want to take it. So you don't have somebody yelling and screaming at your teammate saying you're screwing up or whatever. So that's the part I like about it, because it's for all ages and it's for all levels, you know? So that's what makes it kind of unique, which is kind of crazy that every community doesn't have one of these.
They really should.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And where else, could you imagine a guy standing in a batter's box and swinging at a baseball for 3 hours and never hitting it, to hit it one time? And I know you've seen it. I've done it myself. Huck myself down a set of steps or skate a ramp and try a trick for 2 or 3 hours and maybe don't make it that day. And the next day I go back and do the same thing until I do make it. Again, I don't know how to explain it to anybody who has never witnessed it or been around it or understand the passion. The new Tony Hawk movie, I thought it was epic.
Oh, yeah.
Until the wheels fall off. And anybody who questions a skateboarder that's in almost their 50s, watch the last 10 minutes of that movie. The last 10 minutes of that movie is why I still do it. Because it does
great.
Exactly what it did for me when I was 12.
Yeah. Shed tears during that viewing, for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. And for so many of us, it's like meditation, because you don't think of anything else but your skateboard.
Yep.
Somebody could give you the worst news. For me personally, since I was 16, I would tell my mom, you could tell me tomorrow is my last day on this planet, and I'd go ride my skateboard for 2 hours and not think about that.
So it's like an escape.
It is.
Completely, but it's healthy.
Right, right.
It's healthy. You're getting some physiological work. You're getting some mental work.
Yes.
You're getting learning how to overcome obstacles. I mean, it teaches so much more than just this little piece of wood with urethane wheels on it. And you guys are at the cusp of giving so many more the benefit of that in Northville, which is, I think it's amazing. That's why I couldn't wait to get you guys on the show. Really.
Which, by the way, we want to give a shout out to Tony Hawk, because he helped us
Yeah.
with our little video that we put out.
Oh, cool.
And you know how we got him? It was actually Trevor, because I said, "Come on, Trevor, just put me in touch with him. I know you got to know him." And he says, "I can't. He says, "You know what? If you go on Cameo, you could hire him to do." So I thought, yeah, I'll pay whatever, $250, whatever it was. I don't even know. So I wrote to Cameo. I said, I want to do this, but it's not for a birthday or an anniversary. It's a promotion. I gave my story. 2 days later, they respond, "Tony wants to do this for free for you guys." Cool. And it was awesome.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I ran into him about a year ago, and I'm like, we met each other a handful of times. And he turned around, he's like, "Gerald, what's up?"
Yeah.
And my friend was next to me, right? My buddy who wanted to meet him, right?
Yeah.
And when we walked away, I had to tell him, like, I don't really know him. I'm surprised he even pronounced my name right, to be honest. Like, I had to be honest with him because it floored me. But, he's been coming around Detroit a lot.
He has.
And I'm sure,
Yeah, I had the same experience when he was in town for the modern on the vert ramp there with Christian and everyone. He remembered me from coming to the pool and said, "Hey, Jeff," and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, that marked a turning point in my life too, because I got to announce that.
Oh yeah,
when
that was
George
a great
was
day.
Like, "Will you MC this?" And so I got to MC a contest with the people I looked at in magazines.
It was almost like a Mount Rushmore that day. I couldn't believe it up on the deck with those guys.
I see the picture, and I'm like, "That's a rad picture." But you see a little guy in the middle?
That's me.
But it was a great day for everybody that day.
It was
and Tony Hawk is such a, I can't think of a better ambassador for skateboarding, and the documentary, I think, even elevates him even higher. When you understand the hardships he went through as a young man to get to where he got to, it really, they did a nice job, and that's so rad that he offered to do that. Which again, I don't see why he wouldn't. He comes to this area quite often, and again, he'll end up skating the park. Maybe be there opening day. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
Well, hey,
That'd be awesome.
Trust me, I've been putting the feelers out there as much as I possibly can. We would love that.
Well, and speaking of awesome events, May 21st.
Yes.
You guys are you have put together a pretty amazing event with the beer fest, and you got music going on, fundraiser. Can we talk about the drop-in beer fest a little bit?
Yeah, sure. We've worked with a guy named Scott Bowie from Street Marketing, who's done a lot of festivals around town. I think he had some something to do with Arts, Beats, and Eats, and he's done the Food and Wine Festival in Northville. Does I think he said like 40 festivals a year or something, but he does one major one in our area. And when he heard the story, he said, "Let's make this fundraiser for the skate park our event." So yeah, he's been joining our meetings, and kind of. I don't think we could have done it without him. I mean, he knows everything we need to know, and suggested food trucks and breweries, and we did focus on keeping it pretty local. Plymouth, Canton, Northville, breweries and food trucks, and then we're bringing in some friends of mine, the City Lines, that are actually from Northville are gonna play, and then we've got Northville Folk, who is a band in Northville, Social Bones, and another band called J2C. So pretty good lineup for a little bit for the parents and a little bit for the kids, and it's going to be a great day.
What else are we bringing in?
George and the Modern Ramp and the
yeah.
Modern Team, and then probably whoever else would like to come and skate the ramp and put on a little show for everyone, and just show the people that aren't as familiar with skateboarding, like what you can really strive to the level you could strive to reach with some of our because we know what kind of skateboarders we have in Michigan. I mean,
some of the best.
Yeah.
I really, there's been some gentlemen who have moved here from the West Coast. And they're like, it's rad. I see all the pro skaters out here. He's like, there's something different about Michigan. He's just like, the one dude, Dan, he's like, it's just so cool. He's like, the vibe is so cool, and the talent is amazing, and everybody just seems to be like supportive and rad. He's like, this is so rad. And he always says that. And I'm like, it's not like this everywhere. Like, I thought this is just what we did, the skateboard community. But there is something special here in Michigan, and the event on May 21st. Is there going to be a dunk tank with you in it?
We talked about a dunk tank, but I don't think so. I think we will have some games other than skateboarding, maybe some cornhole. I think we're going to try to get some cornhole boards. I was talking about maybe staging a tic-tac race. That's always fun for all ages, maybe have some prizes for the winner. Still in the planning stages. It is coming up quick, but we're still working everything out. We've got tickets available now on our social media. There's links there.
And tickets for the event are $35. And where can our viewers get to those tickets?
Probably just the easiest route would be to go to either our Instagram or Facebook, which is just Northville Skatepark on both of those. And then we've got an event page on Facebook, and we've got every day or so, a few days, I put another story up with a link. I'm doing the social media, trying not to bother people too bad, but also trying to make sure that I'm keeping it fresh in everyone's mind.
Yeah,
and,
it's a tough balance.
Yeah, I think we'll have some probably some paper posters and things before too long that we'll be posting around town with a little QR code for purchasing tickets and things like that. So we're looking for a good turnout and a great day, and it'll just kind of kick everything off.
Yeah, I think with the way the last few years have been, and with the world opening up again for such a great cause, I think people are looking for positive events to get out of their house, to go out with the family, to meet friends, and just have a good time. And for this cause, for Duhn, for the skate park, I can't think of a better reason to leave your house and come out on May 21st.
Please.
So Northville Skatepark on Instagram, on Facebook?
Yep. Northville Skatepark.
And they can get to the tickets through there?
Yep. Okay. We have an easy link.
Or at the door, goes up to $45.
Okay. All right. So get there. Save yourself $10 if you're just thinking, man, there's something here on May 21st. It's some place in your subconscious on that day. It's like, wing, there's something going on. Show up anyway. Extra $10 for a wonderful cause. So make sure to get out to the Drop-In Beer Fest to support the Northville Skatepark project. I know it's early on, but any ETA when you'd like to see groundbreaking?
Well,
we had a very aggressive target. We were really hoping to break ground in 2022, and now more so because of the inflation, it would be great to break ground sooner than later. We're
trying to target to like breaking ground like maybe September. It all has to do with funding. We're putting it out for bids, sending it out for bids right now. So depending on how those come in,
Yep.
be a big determining factor. But again, like Jeff said, we're worried that the inflation is going to get worse. So
Locking
the
in a price
sooner-
would be nice
yes,
sooner than
the
later,
sooner-
even if there's no shovel in the ground. If we can
Yeah.
lock in prices before they go up even more, because we've got 10,000 square feet to work with, and I
And
believe
that's at Millennial Park?
Millennium Park.
Millennium
it's
Park?
6 in Sheldon, 6 Mile in Sheldon, right across from the high school, Northville High School, right behind the fire station. So,
Okay.
I mean, we've heard if we are able to raise an exorbitant amount of money that we might even be able to get more space. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, so that's kind of what we're hoping for. It's like, maybe the sky's the limit kind of thing, but it's all based on funding. But we've been doing very well in the funding, and then we're getting some matches coming in now that we've reached a certain level of funding. So that's where we'll see a jump, and then hopefully after the the festival we'll be looking even better.
Right on. Well, and just to ease your guys' thought process a little bit, I was studying some financial stuff yesterday, and many of the leading experts believe that this inflation is starting to level off.
oh,
It's starting to level off. And now I don't know if I believe that, just because everything is so questionable right now on the planet. But this came from a couple people that I actually trust their opinions. They've been right in the past, and they're saying it's starting to level off. Because I'm like, oh, thank you.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Thank
right.
you.
That's
You
good.
know,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
this is getting a little ridiculous
It
with
is.
everything. And
Oh,
so hopefully it is. And that way we can get the most
Yeah,
bang
it'd be
for the buck
nice.
for Northville.
We need
And,
this.
Well, the other issue we're pushing, because again, it started off to honor Dominic, and then early on I realized, wait, this is a safety issue as well, because I didn't want any other parent to go through what we're going through. And then it just kind of expanded into a mental health issue. The more we started learning about these skate parks, the more we started learning, wait a minute, this could really help our youth, because early on when Dominic passed away, we had a complete stranger send us a condolence card that lost their son. And I was so touched by it, I decided to do that for other parents. And so far, I think I'm up to 18, I think, and 10 of them are suicides. And 3 of them, I believe, were overdoses. So I'm all under the age of 23. So there's a problem. And the farthest I go is Kalamazoo. That was the farthest one I went. So this is not, this is our area. And so I realized, wait, these kids are suffering now. And I feel like if we can break ground and get it going, they can see it. And it's more of us sending them a sign like, hey, we see you. Mm-hmm. We hear you. Because so much, everybody's, focused on everything else, but these kids are suffering, and it's like nobody's paying attention to them. And they're our future.
Yeah, and we know skateboarding can be a lifeline. I mean,
it saved my life more times than I could. There's not enough zeros probably to say what skateboarding has done for my personal mental health, and what I've seen the benefits for so many others who maybe have ADHD or maybe have one of those four-letter acronyms. I don't know, but I mean, there's a wonderful modern skate and surf team rider, Elliot, and I just have watched that kid grow up, and now he's on the modern team, and I never saw he was so excited, but I've watched him grow up to be like the little kid, that. Elliot, just get away from me, dude. Like, you're a little kid. But to see him grow through some of his growing pains, but to be around some of us older guys and be around some of it's just, again, I go back to the camaraderie of it, and the growth, and the as you're going through those tough years, to be able to relate to others that are going through those tough years, and maybe you want green hair and you want purple hair, but you're doing okay in school, and so mom and dad are okay with that. That was my life. My mom's like, you can have your hair any color you want as long as you're passing school. So I had the mohawks. She'd dye it for me. I'd do her roots for her. That's what we did. But when you feel supported, especially at a younger age, it's a game changer, and especially to get out from in front of the screens, get out from in front of the phone, and get out from in front of the Xbox, and get outside and do something.
Yes.
Again, all these things we're talking about, I don't think get talked about enough. all people see is either Tony Hawk, or they see maybe the kid like ruining their curb in front of their house or something like that. And the things we're talking about are beneficial. These are lifelong benefits. These aren't just going to benefit a young man or young lady right now. These are things that they're going to take with them to their careers. That overcoming, that ability to talk to people, that those things are so important, so important.
Well, I had an older gentleman complaining about where the location was going to be, and so I reached out to him and I asked him, what his issue was, and he says, "Oh, it's going to be loud." Well, it's right behind the fire station. I said, "Well, I will promise you, it will not be any louder than that siren when it goes off." And so then he came up with some other reasons, and because he's talking about how loud it's going to be, and I said, honestly, these kids locked up in their rooms, suffering mentally, should be deafening to all of us.
That is a great quote. Write it down. There's the quote. That's the quote of the show right there. That is a great quote and a great perspective.
Well, they're our future. It's like, if we're not taking care of them, how are we going to expect them to take care of us one day?
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so, he was able to come around a little bit more when I put it in that context, because he's an older man. You know what I mean? He understands. So, yeah, I really, I don't know how I got called into this, but I have so many people reaching out to me, thanking me that I am bringing up the mental health crisis we're having, because it seems like nobody really wants to talk about it.
Right.
And if we can't talk about it, how can we possibly fix it? And obviously, I know the skate park's not going to help everything, but it's a start.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to, even if you're not the skateboarder, it's a gathering area. I want to, like, even the perimeter. I tell Jeff, I said, "Jeff, you handle the skate park. I have no idea what goes in there, but I'm focused more on the perimeter of it, because I want it to be very welcoming for the mom that wants to bring her maybe 3-year-old with a scooter, or grandma and grandpa that just wants to come and hang out. I want it to be inviting for everybody.
Right.
And just, again, like, if it's, that girl or boy, and they're like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. You know what? I'm going to go up to the skate park, because there's going to be somebody there. Mm-hmm. There's going to be something to look at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And if for the youngsters coming up, if they don't fit into the traditional model, if it's hockey, baseball, football,
Yes.
if you don't fit into that, and I think you said it earlier, Gabriella, that, but they still want to be physically active, this offers them something more, There's a wonderful park that's been around for a while in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Rob Wolkers over at Plus was very instrumental in getting it done. It's called Riley Skate Park. And I think one of the coolest things there, I've been skating there probably since it opened, but you'll see, because there's an ice rink and there's baseball fields, and you'll see the kids come over in their baseball uniforms to check it out, and their parents will come with them. And then on occasion, you'll see somebody in a baseball uniform rolling on, ask they to borrow a board. So the stereotypes and that divide is lessening and lessening and lessening. And I think that's really rad to see that happen.
Absolutely.
And mentioning Rob, we do, I personally would like to see similar things happening at the Northville Skatepark with the skate camps and all that, because the outreach, that Rob's been able to do is awesome. And it just kind of takes that, maybe shortens that learning curve a little bit when you've got some older guys and they're actually, there, for the sole reason of helping people learn the basics and get that drop in out of the way, maybe learn to ollie, things like that. So yeah, I'd love to see skate camp go on there, Rob or someone else, or
it seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. Once the concrete is dry, I see Rob fully embracing that, because he does so much for the community, and yeah.
I've definitely talked to, I'm trying to kind of handpick some key individuals to help. Obviously, the companies that we've reached out to will have, tons of great ideas and guidance, but I've also been trying to pull together some of the, the key figures around here that really know what works in a skate park, like Derek Dykus, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Reisner, trying to kind of just bring everyone in to say, okay, what should we do here? Because we want this to be a really special park.
And stand out, make it a destination location. You don't want to make a cookie cutter of that, or that.
Right.
And
Right.
so, Spone Ranch, I know, I don't know if we mentioned them here, but they interested me just because of their designs.
Yeah, they're on our list.
And they do, like, they'll make a wedge ramp that looks like an orange.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I thought that was cool from the aesthetic perspective to the non-skateboarder. It's not just gray, empty cereal bowls over there. They are actually, like, putting some color in there and making
Yeah,
it
we
designer.
wanted to make it look artistic.
Yeah, so just one option of a park builder that I thought was doing cool stuff, but all of them. Team Pain does great stuff. Grindline does cool stuff.
Yeah.
Spone Ranch, all of them do amazing work, and it is just really full throttle since the Tony Hawk Foundation started doing what they've been doing in the state of Michigan and upstate New York. We've gotten to view and skate quite a bit of the different kinds of styles, the evergreen flowy style. And these are all different skate park builders, and they all have their unique style of what they build. You could skate a park and you would almost know who built it just by the way the designs are, the bowls or the whatever.
Yeah.
And the people you mentioned, Derek Dykes, Rob, and also Reisner, all three totally different kind of styles, totally different ways of life, but can offer such expertise on what they think might be the best possible layout, design, whatever. Don't ask me, because I have like a Neil Blender kind of concept. I'll be like, make it 3 foot high with 2 foot of vert. Let's see if we can skate it.
Right.
Terrible designer. I love skating this stuff, but I would.
Yeah. I just need some mini quarters and a nice curb to slappy. That's selfishly, those are the only elements that I want for myself. The rest, I'm pretty open, for what we can fit into that square footage. But my name is somewhat attached to this, so I want this to be something that's really gonna stand the test of time and be there after I'm gone. So.
Definitely. And Gabriella, like, have you picked out a board yet? Do you know what color wheels you're gonna be riding?
Jeff said he was going to give me some private lessons. Okay.
Well,
I'm going to have a few glasses of wine beforehand. Okay.
I have they're coming probably to Northville Skatepark. I have a dozen helmets that I donate, and I should give you one before that whole wine thing.
Right.
Because
I can show you the basics, but I'm kind of on the downside of my skateboarding life. But I mean, it's still just as fun as day one. I never was a pro caliber skateboarder, but always loved it on that level. So it's something I just physically can't stop. I mean, I like to start my day not today, but last 2 days in a row, I was over at Riley right when the gates open. I like to get my early morning session in, nice quiet skate park around 8 o'clock. And, I'm good for about 45 minutes, and then my soul feels good and I feel exercised, and then I'm ready to go sit down at my desk in my house and be a project manager. But at least I started out doing something that I love.
Mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love when you post those, when you are there and you occasionally will post one up. I'm like, that's so rad.
Yeah, my wife's always like, do you always have to record yourself while you're skating? And I'm like, it's just kind of a thing, like video and skateboarding kind of goes a long way, and you can kind of make it look like you're doing something a little cooler than you're actually maybe doing. But hey, just rolling is good enough for me at this point.
It is for all ages. We went out, we met Trevor out at the Ann Arbor Skate Park.
Are you going to bring up David Swain?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
I'll bring up David Swain.
Okay, so we're out there at the Ann Arbor Skate Park, and he's showing us around the different features and everything. All of a sudden, we see this older gentleman walk up. He's got a helmet on. He's got his knee pads on, his elbow pads, and he's walking towards the bowl. And I'm like, no way. And sure enough, he drops in. I couldn't get my phone out fast enough because I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. He comes up and Trevor calls him over, introduces us. He's like 70 years old.
It's David Swain.
That's who it was?
I got to tell you one other little tidbit to add to that.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, the mayor of Ann Arbor gave David Swain a proclamation of Stoke for that. And I was there. It was full on, looked like the Declaration of Independence. The mayor was there. I'm like, what? He's there, and I think he teaches ukulele or something. He's like a musical, freaking phenom. And yeah, he's like 72.
How do we get hold of him? We got to invite him.
We'll call him. We'll
Okay.
figure it
Yeah,
out.
Okay.
catch him any Sunday at the Ann Arbor Skatepark in the
yeah.
summer. Yeah. That's you got to give a shout out to the old bros. I always tell my wife and my friends, like, a lot of the guys I grew up skating with. Some of them, still like to ride around a bit, but majority of the guys I skate with, I'm 50. I'll be 51 next month. Are in some cases 5, 10 years older than I am, and they skate more than the young guys. So
Bob
the old
Cates,
bros,
Mike Wiggin, all those guys, all of them.
Yep. And another Dave, he's 66. We call him 66, and he started skateboarding, I believe, in his 65th year.
What?
And
That's when he started?
yes, and I've posted some of his videos on our Instagram, but yeah, he's out there just rolling around at Riley. It's great. He shows up before he'll set the wheels down on the surface. He walks around this park looking for any pebble, anything that might take him out, because he understands
The silent
if
killer.
I
It
fall,
will too.
I might not be able to skate for some time. So he goes around that whole park, make sure there's not a pebble around, no debris, and then he starts to skate. And like I said, I usually do about 45 minutes to an hour, if that. And most often, I'm going to the car and I'm giving him the bro hug and saying, "Hey, he's still there skating." He's like, yeah. I heard from Bob Cates just the other day that he's got some kind of injury right now, so I'm sure he's disappointed that he couldn't get out for some early spring skating, but hopefully he'll be back soon.
I saw Cates, I think last weekend, but Mike Wiggin wasn't there.
Yeah,
And he had a minor injury.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, but I did want to share something. You were talking about the age thing, and my dad, he's 74. He had a minor stroke about 8 months ago. And he, at some point in the last 6 months, he's like, "Can you put together me a skateboard?" And I'm like, "Huh? Come again?" I didn't know what he was saying. He's like, "Here's what I want to do." So I put together a complete board for him. I tighten the wheels down as tight as I could tighten them. And he takes it to the gym, puts it on a mat, holds the rings, and he's standing on the board to work on his balance.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had a stroke. And it is working. And now he's got other veterans in the gym coming in and standing on the board, and it's
so
not going to
cool.
roll anywhere, but he's just getting his balance back, and now he can do like medicine ball exercises while he's standing on the board and stuff.
That's so awesome.
You just never know what the benefit of a skateboard is going to be in your life. So give it a shot sometime, but make sure to wear your protective gear.
Can I tell you a cool story?
Heck yeah, you can.
Okay, so I don't even know how, somebody sent me this story, but basically the use of skateboards. This gentleman, he used to bring his severely mentally handicapped son to the skate park just to watch, right? And he's in a wheelchair, he can't do a whole lot, and he could tell the skateboarders would be skating, and the boy would get really, really excited. And he started recognizing, he goes, "Wait a minute, he really likes the sound of this." So somehow this father, he was an amazing father, he was able to figure out, okay, there's got to be some kind of music to this. And do you know Tony Hawk did like some kind of CD for him?
Oh, cool.
Skate sounds?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Tony's like, I had no idea that a skateboard could be music, right? So
It's a wonderful sound.
Oh, my ringer for years was my buddy grinding the top of a pool. So my phone rang, it was like, you'd hear.
Yeah, we love those sounds.
Yeah, that was my ringer for a number of years, and it put a
great.
smile on my face every time, and I knew it was Jackson Gregg every time, one of my best friends. So, yeah, there is a music to it, and especially hearing somebody like just roll carving a cement pool. The sound is just, there's something. I wonder what the resonance is, because what is it? 528 is like the perfect resonance. That's like the calming resonance. I wonder if the sound of a pool carve is somewhere in there.
It's
and that's
a beautiful sound. And the tile. It's
that you roll across tile, especially if it's the first time you've ever rolled across tile. Nothing better.
Yeah.
Nothing better. It's a beautiful thing. So I think have we missed anything that we need to cover here?
Just thank everyone that supported us so far, and see this thing through, and have a great outcome and something that thousands of people can enjoy. And it's been a pleasure to work with everyone and get this opportunity. And yeah.
And so how, again, run down like how people can get a hold of it, get a hold of you guys, keep up to date on everything that's going on, if they want to donate. I know you said social media, but run it down one more time.
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook, Northville Skatepark, very easy to find. We've got, I'm keeping the ticket link for the events pinned right to the top right now, always in our story. You can look me up directly if you have any questions, and be happy to help anyone out. And yeah, just keep the information flowing and make this happen.
Cool. And you guys know you can reach out to me if you totally space on everything we talked about. You're like, hey, there's a skate park in Northville. I want to know more. Just send me a message, put something on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and I will get you to where you need to get to. And right now, you need to write down May 21st on your calendar and be there, because I'll be there. Jeff will be there. Gabriella will be there. So many more. George's mobile ramp. That ramp I actually toured the country with a few times because that's what it was built for. And it is a party, that little blue ramp. Jeff Scroggs in a dunk tank. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But there's going to be music. You know, if you're a beer drinker, you know, all different kinds of local breweries will be there. So do yourself a favor and just show up, smile, have a good time for a great cause.
And don't forget the food trucks. You know,
and
for the
food
foodies
trucks
out there, we got Slow's Barbecue. We've got Detroit Mini Donut, Woe Chinese, Tiny's Wieners. Who could leave out Tiny's Wieners? You know, we've got them coming. So tons of food trucks.
All about marketing,
food
man.
for everyone.
The pizza.
Oh yeah, Pizza Pazza.
Cool.
It's a Neapolitan style fire oven pizza. Takes 3 minutes to make a nice pizza for you. So plenty of food, good times.
And the weather will be warming up. Everybody's going to want to be getting outside.
Yeah, that's why we try to kind of jump ahead and try to be one of the first festivals around town, because I know people are waiting for something like this to happen. So skateboarding, what better reason to celebrate?
Right. Well, you know what? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
For,
appreciate it.
Stopping by the studio, hanging out on the drop-in for an hour or so.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to come back anytime. As other events are happening, you're like, just give me a call and say, you know, can we go on the show and talk about it so we can get more people out there, so we can build a bigger park or whatever the case is. You're always welcome here on the drop-in. So,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for tuning in. You know, you can't get this hour back, so we tried to fill it up with as much good content. And I mean, seriously, May 21st, get there. If you can't get there, check out Northville Skatepark on Instagram, on Facebook. Donate if you can. If you're a skateboarder, come out. You know, I think that's one of the toughest things. Everybody loves, at least from in my past experience, everybody wants to see it built, but oftentimes they don't want to come out and support the different events. So if you're a skateboarder, come out. One more place. You can go out and roll around. You can take your friends. You can hang out, you know. So support the people who are supporting you, and Northville Skatepark is definitely here doing that. So thank you guys again, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. This is Gabriella. This is Jeff. I am Gerald Valley, and this is The Drop-In.